Welcome back to the deep dive. You know, whenever we talk about the AI revolution, it feels like the conversation always gravitates toward the software, right?
Oh, yeah. The models, the chips, the NVIDIAs of the world.
Exactly. It's all very digital. It's all about the cloud.
Which is funny because the cloud is probably the most misleading name ever. It sounds so light and fluffy.
It sounds like it floats.
Yeah.
But the reality is the cloud is heavy. It's hot. And it is incredibly hungry for power.
Uh-huh.
And that is why today's deep dive is going to be a little different. We're not looking at a flashy tech company. We're looking at a utility company.
Specifically American Electric Power, or AEP.
And if you're thinking, oh, utility company, how boring, just wait. We are digging into their Q4 2025 earnings call. It just dropped today, February 12th, 2026.
And explosive is not a word you usually associate with a regulated utility.
No.
But this report really is. It gives you a map to the physical reality of the AI boom. AEP is, they're basically becoming the central nervous system for this whole new economy.
They dropped a bombshell about energy demand that just completely changes the landscape of American infrastructure.
It's a historic shift. It's the digital world colliding with the physical grid.
Okay, so let's not bury the lead. We have to talk about the one statistic from this call that is just jaw-dropping.
I think I know which one you're talking about.
I had to read the paragraph twice. I thought it was a typo.
The incremental contracted load forecast?
Yes. So, to set the stage, just a few months ago, back in the fall of 2025, AEP said, okay, by 2030, we expect about 28 gigawatts of new load.
Which was already a huge number. 28 gigawatts can power multiple states. It's a lot.
Right. So that was the prediction then. Today, less than 6 months later, they updated that number.
It's 56 gigawatts.
56. They doubled it.
Doubled it.
In what, 4 or 5 months? How does that even happen? How do you miss your forecast by 100%?
Well, it just speaks to the speed of this demand. But we have to be really clear about what that number means. This isn't AEP just guessing. This isn't a wish list. The term is incremental contracted load.
Right. Let's unpack that. Contracted. What does that actually mean in this world?
It means these are backed by signed agreements. Pen to paper.
So not just inquiries?
No. These are electric service agreements, letters of agreement. These customers are legally, financially on the hook.
So this is real. It's not vaporware. And who is it? Is it all just AI data centers?
A huge, huge chunk of it is exactly that. They specifically mentioned hyperscalers and mega-sized data center developers on the call.
The giants. The Microsofts, the Amazons, the Googles.
Exactly. They are in an arms race for computing power and electricity as the fuel.
But I saw it's not just them, right? There was talk about industrial electrification.
That's the other big piece. You've got manufacturing coming back to the U.S., but instead of running on their own boilers or furnaces, they're plugging into the grid.
So you have the digital economy exploding and the physical economy electrifying all at once.
It's a perfect storm. But yeah, the headline driver, the thing that gets you from 28 to 56, is definitely the data center boom. It's just insatiable.
Okay, so the 56 gigawatt number is huge. But the geography of it also stood out to me. This isn't happening in Silicon Valley.
No, not at all. Not even close. If you look at the breakdown, the absolute standout is County, Texas. Out of that 56 gigawatts, 36 gigawatts are signed letters of agreement in Texas alone.
36 gigawatts.
Yeah.
That's more than the entire peak demand of a lot of countries, just for new projects in Texas.
It is. And this brings up a really important question, the skepticism in the market. People ask, is this real? Or are companies just squatting on the queue?
Right, like buying up domain names in the 90s, hoping someone will pay you for it later.
Exactly. But AEP management was very clear about why these Texas numbers are solid. It comes down to the requirements for getting a letter of agreement, an LOA.
You can't just sign a piece of paper.
No, you need serious skin in the game.
Yeah.
To get that LOA, the customer has to have the land rights secured. They have to pay for the interconnection studies, which can be millions of dollars. And here's the kicker. They have to fund the construction costs up front.
Wait, the customer pays AEP to build the lines before they even get the power?
In many of these agreements, yes. They're posting financial security. It filters out the speculators really, really fast.
Okay, that makes me feel a lot more confident in that number. These are fully committed projects.
And there's a legislative piece, too. They mentioned Senate Bill 6 and Texas SB 6.
What does that do?
It basically creates an organized framework for connecting all this new demand. It prioritizes projects, sets rules, so it's not the Wild West.
Got it. And it wasn't just data centers in Texas, was it? I saw something about the Port of Corpus Christi.
Yeah, good catch. About 5.1 gigawatts of industrial load there, mostly from LNG, liquefied natural gas.
Compressing gas takes a ton of energy.
Tremendous amount. And then you had that aluminum smelting customer in Oklahoma.
Aluminum smelting, that feels so old school.
It is, but it's incredibly power hungry. So you've got this mix of cutting-edge AI and heavy, heavy industry all hitting the grid at the same time.
Which brings up the big question. How on earth do you move that much power? You can't just plug these things in.
No, you need the interstate highway system for electricity. And this is where AEP has a massive competitive advantage, a real moat.
They kept talking about their 765 kV lines.
Yeah.
I'm guessing 765 is a big number.
It is the biggest, it's the highest voltage class used in the U.S. Think of it like a giant high-pressure water main. It can move huge amounts of power over long distances with very little loss.
And AEP controls most of that.
AEP owns and operates nearly 90% of all the 765 kV infrastructure in the entire United States.
90%? That's almost a monopoly.
Essentially, if you're a hyperscaler and you need to build a data center anywhere in their territory, you're going to be talking to them. They own the highway.
So they're the toll booth.
They are the toll booth and the highway.
But even with the highway, building the on-ramps and off-ramps takes time. And these AI companies move so fast. How do they bridge that gap?
That's the core problem, right? And AEP is getting really creative. Did you see the part about the Bloom Energy deal?
Yes. $2.65 billion for fuel cells.
Right. Solid oxide fuel cells for a facility near Cheyenne, Wyoming. Now, why would a grid company buy on-site power generators?
I figured it was a green energy thing.
Or for backup power?
It's partly that, but the main reason is speed. They have a 20-year deal with a big customer there, likely a data center. By putting the power plant right on site, they can get them online years faster than waiting for a massive new transmission line.
So they're bringing the power plant to the customer.
Exactly. It's a brilliant strategy to solve the customer's biggest problem, which is time to market.
That's a fascinating pivot for a utility. And they're not just doing that, right? They're still building traditional generation.
Oh, absolutely. They've secured over 10 gigawatts of gas turbine capacity.
So natural gas. They need that dispatchable power. Data centers need what they call 5 nines reliability, 99.999% uptime.
You can't have an AI model crash because the wind stopped blowing.
You absolutely cannot. So when solar and wind aren't available, those gas turbines have to kick on instantly. And they also mentioned that partnership with Quanta Services.
That's about getting the actual work done.
That's about securing the labor and the equipment. You can have all the plans in the world, but if you don't have the skilled line workers and the cranes to build these massive lines, you're stuck.
So let's talk about the money. How are the financials looking?
They're doing extremely well. Beat earnings expectations. Q4 operating earnings were $1.19 a share. Consensus was $1.15.
And their capital plan is huge.
$72 billion over 5 years. And they even said there's another $5 to $8 billion of upside to that, including the Bloom deal.
Okay, so I have to ask the grandma question. If AEP is spending $72 billion to power AI factories, is my electric bill going to go through the roof?
That is the most critical question. And management was very, very deliberate in how they answered it on the call.
I noticed. They kept talking about protecting the residential customer.
Their whole defense is their tariff strategy.
Okay, break that down. How does a tariff protect me?
Well, in states like Ohio, they've created specific tariffs just for these large loads. So the data centers don't pay the same rate as you or me.
They pay a special rate.
A rate that is specifically calculated to cover the new infrastructure they require. If they need a new substation, the cost of that substation is baked into their rate, not yours.
Okay, that makes sense.
And they combine that with something called take-or-pay provisions.
Take or pay. Sounds serious.
It is. It means if a data center signs a contract for 500 megawatts, they have to pay for that block of power every month, even if they don't use a single electron.
Oh, wow. So if their business fails, they're still on the hook.
Exactly. The risk is ring-fenced to the company causing the demand. AEP can build out the system without the risk that the regular ratepayer will be left holding the bag.
That's actually pretty smart. So is 56 gigawatts the ceiling?
Oh, not even close. That's just what's signed. They said the interconnection queue, the official waiting list, has about 180 gigawatts of projects in it.
180.
The demand is practically bottomless. If they could build it, they could sell it.
So what's stopping them? If the money is there, what's the real bottleneck?
It's the physical world. It's the boring stuff. Permitting delays.
Right.
The supply chain for the massive transformers you need. The lead times on those are years right now, and just actually generating enough electrons to fill the wires.
Did they talk about the long-term plan for generation? Beyond gas.
They did touch on SMR's small modular reactors.
Nuclear. It seems to be coming back into the conversation.
It is. AEP is already involved in early site permits for SMRs in Indiana and Virginia. Now, this is a 2030 solution, not next year.
Sure.
But the fact that a major utility is spending real money on it now tells you they know that eventually they're going to need that dense 247 carbon-free power.
Throughout the call, the management team, they sounded really confident, not stressed.
They did. They reaffirmed their 7 to 9% long-term earnings growth target. For a utility, that is flying. They see this not as a bubble, but as a new baseline.
So if we zoom out, it really feels like the grid is the story of AI that nobody is telling.
It is the story. For 20 years, electricity demand in the U.S. was flat. We got more efficient.
LED bulbs and all that.
Exactly. It was a flat line. And now, all of a sudden, it's a vertical line on the chart. And it's happening in places like Ohio, Texas, Oklahoma.
So AEP isn't just a utility anymore. They're positioning themselves as a premium infrastructure growth company.
That's a perfect way to put it. They're the platform the digital economy is being built on. The boring utility sector is suddenly the most critical part of the whole equation.
It really makes me think we always worry about compute being the limiting factor for AI. Do we have enough chips?
Right.
But after this, I think the real limit might just be, can we build the power lines fast enough?
That's the bottleneck. You can code a new AI model overnight. You can't build a 765 kV transmission line overnight. That takes years of work in the real world.
It totally changes your perspective. The next time you're driving and you see those huge metal power towers,
don't just look past them.
Exactly. That's the engine room of the entire digital world right there.
And right now, that engine is running hotter than it has in decades.
Incredible stuff. Thanks for breaking this all down.
My pleasure.
And thank you for listening. We'll catch you on the next Deep Dive.